What is going on, everybody? This is Slick from Breaking the Clutch, back again with another Halo Wars 2 video. Awakening of the Nightmare has just dropped. New leaders are live. Fire team, Jesus Christ. Too much Destiny, that's my problem. Firefight is now live. Also, basically everything that they said was going to come out is live. But they also added some incredible new features that I honestly think just slipped under the radar, and they're phenomenal. They improved the game so much. Players that learn how to abuse these, I shouldn't say abuse, how to utilize these will be absolutely better off as opposed to any other player. So this is going to be a top tier thing. Essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a basic build, and I'm going to basically go through every single new feature that they have listed. I'll also post an update link in the description below, so go ahead and check that out. So that way you can kind of see what I want to talk about. So there are a lot of new commands in the game. Let's use this grunt over here. He can be our little example. I did want to do a camera for my controller set where you guys could see what my hand looked like. But I'm actually just going to kind of talk you through it because I feel like it'll still be easy. So first things first, let's talk about the few things that they have officially dropped alongside Awakening of the Nightmare. So first things first, they actually dropped an attack move command. And what I mean by that is that when you want one of your units to walk all the way to an enemy side of a base and say attack a unit, just like you would back in, just like yesterday, you know, before this update even came out, before anything came out, when you sent a unit over here, you know, on his way he'd attack, blah blah blah. As you can see already, they have updated a little reticle thing, which is phenomenal. But here's something that you might not have known. If you hold the X button now, you'll see a little red indicator and a little BR scope, or BR reticle, sorry, from, say, the FPS games. And what that does is actually cause your units to do an attack move command, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to hit X there, and then what I'm going to do is hold X to do a double tap. Pretty absolutely phenomenal, and I'll get to in a second why this is so also crazy important, because you can chain it together with like 45 different things. So another phenomenal thing they've done is actually incorporate queued movement commands. So what I mean by that is that you can actually queue up multiple movements in a row. Let's say what I want to do is I want to have this grunt go all the way to this side, but I want him to grab supplies first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the right trigger down, guys. You're going to notice, so whenever you're holding the right trigger, down to the bottom left, you'll see that I'm doing it right now, just clicking on and off. The D-pad indicator will actually light up. So what I mean by this is you can actually, like I said, tell your unit to do 12 commands and then go ahead, you know, I'm going to go back to my base, do all kinds of stuff like that. So in order to do it, you hold the right trigger, hit X, hit X, hit X, hit X, and then it will actually maintain, look at this, it even has little arrows, it will maintain movement commands after you look away. This is absolutely phenomenal. Not a lot of people have even known about this. Of course, I know a couple people have made videos on it, but I want to get into why this is important and why you can really utilize it. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send my guy over here to this supply thing, and I want to go over here to this supply crate and get a little bit more vision in the middle map so I can buy that 2-slot mini base. And then I'm going to go back to my base, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, if I go back to that grunt, as soon as he's done with this, he's going to run across the map and see, look, the cube movements are still there. It is just absolutely phenomenal. I am so excited to use this in a game. Now, the next thing I really want to show you, we're going to use this guy as a, actually, I want to, this is something that you can certainly do with it. This is just going to be an interesting one. This is what they do in StarCraft often, is they'll do things like this to kind of create, like, you know, so that way they can do like little scouting positions. So of course you got to do a little more widespread, but you just go back and forth and hold the right trigger. And this is kind of a way to say patrol an area and scout and see what the hell is going on. Now the next really awesome thing they've actually incorporated in the game is actually going to be a hold position command. So I have not tested this in a game yet, but I'm fairly certain this is how it's going to work, just like any other RTS game. So your hold position command is when you tell a unit to go to a spot, stand still, and not attack or do anything. They just sit perfectly still. In order to do that in this game, what you're going to do is you're going to hold right trigger, go to the point where you want your unit to go after you selected them, hold right trigger, and then double tap LB. As you're going to see, you have a little point indicator here with a shield. That means they're going to hold position. They are not going to move. They're going to sit right there. So I can go back here, go to my other units here, move around all that, and I'm going to try it again here. Hold right trigger, double tap LB, and the units will go there in hold position in any given certain scenario, which is just absolutely phenomenal until you tell them to go otherwise. So if you want to just kind of get a good spot on the map, kind of get some scouts, you hold right trigger, double tap LB, and then your units will go to the hold position. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, last but most certainly not least is actually the most phenomenal thing they have done in a console RTS game to date, in my opinion, and that is being able to control group buildings. Now, if those of you who are like your seasoned RTS veterans, you know all about it. That is something absolutely phenomenal, because that means that while you are away from your base with your reticle and your viewfinder, you can actually produce units back at your main with this simple step. So what I want to do is kind of show you exactly how to do that. So what you do is you hover over your building that you want to do. So I'm going to do this raid camp here. You hold right trigger. Notice the D-pad lights up in the bottom left. I'm still holding right trigger. Now I'm holding the left bumper. You're going to see Raid Camp Trains Infantry will pop up in the bottom as well. And then I'm going to assign the building to one of my D-pads here. You can just, what you do is you hold right trigger, LB, and then you hold down the control group selection, top D-pad, right, left, bottom, doesn't matter, whatever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go away and I'm going to go mess with this guy. I'm going to tell him to go over here and hold command because it's one of my favorite things ever. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold the right trigger. Look, I'm away from my base, as you guys can tell. I'm going to hold right trigger, hit down on the D-pad, see how it pulls up my raid camp. I'm letting go with right trigger. I hit the Y button, and then I'm able to produce units from anywhere on the map. And another thing too, you can actually hold down on the D-pad and then hold up, you know, you can still set your rally points so that way all of your units can come here. So you know what I'm doing, I'm like, you know, I'm going to tell all my units here, look, you actually can't even select the units that are in hold position with all units, keep that in mind. I tell my grunt units to go here, and then I'm going to hit down on the D-pad. You know what I want? I want to do some jump pack brutes. I'm going to queue a couple up. I'm going over here. I'm going to grab these guys. I'm going to say, yo, let's go get this mini base right now. Oh, by the way, I'm also just going to go ahead real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and make, let's see, make some more grenadiers. See how my production's going. Like, geez, I wonder how long it's going to take for my my scarab to finish up. You know, you go ahead and you just check it. Now, of course, what the real strategy with this would be is actually to say, assign this one here to a, say, like I assigned this raid camp to my bottom D-pad. I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to assign this one to my right D-pad. And now what I can do, guys, if I get good at it, is I can actually pump from 2 buildings at once on my main base without even looking back. Now, of course, guys, this is most certainly going to take a lot of practice, just because it's going to be totally unorthodox. You're not going to be used to it. But once you get it down, guys, you will have an absolutely incredible play style, just because you're going to be able to say, look at this base, deal with this. You're like, you know what, hang on, I just got to build some more units here, you know, so I'm just going to double pump here. And it's actually, I'm just practicing it right now, and I'm just getting better at it. So make sure you go into a lot of custom games or Team War, get some practice in. Look at this, I'm producing all these units from actually this side of the map without even looking at it. It's something, like I said, I can't believe they've done it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to go ahead, let's see what, I'm going to make some jump back brutes here. And let's see, I'll add this one. It's kind of confusing because it's very, the queues are very small that you're making units, period. So just keep that in mind. Let's say you're doing an engagement, you're oh, look at that, look at all the little indicators there. Let's say you're starting an engagement here on this side of the map and you want to actually tech up your base, you know, so you just set your base to control group 1. You're going to select it by hitting up on the D-pad, right trigger, and then you actually just upgrade the base. Look at that. So that way I have my Tech 2 queued up. I haven't even looked away from this base. It's just something, I just can't believe they've done it. I'm so stoked about it, and I just can't wait to actually use this in a game. So anyway, guys, that is essentially the new lowdown for all of the new units, not new units, but new controls and updates they have done to the game. I honestly believe with these changes that competitive Halo Wars, especially the tournament that we have coming up in mid-October, is going to be beyond crazy, because we're going to see people control grouping, setting up units and all that stuff, and it's going to be absolutely bonkers to see in-game and in action. I'm genuinely excited for it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Slick from Breaking the Clutch, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.